Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and in this video I will review one of the new Blu-ray titles, Vinegar Syndrome, released during this year's Black Friday sale, which I take part in every year. This movie is being talked about again thanks to the Alamo Drafthouse, whose movie theater chain I will forever worship, through their VOD on-demand service, and of course Vinegar Syndrome releasing it on Blu-ray. And it is 1989's Action USA, and to borrow a tagline from another movie, it's exactly what you think it is. It's about a Corvette-driving drug dealer who gets murdered in front of his girlfriend by two mob henchmen because of the diamonds he stole from their mob boss. She gets protection from two FBI agents that wants her to testify against him, but the mob boss sends out his number one hitman as his associates after them to get rid of her as they try to flee the hellscape that is Texas. They shot it in Waco, Texas in 18 days with a budget of $500,000. This was directed by Jon Stewart, who started out his career as a stuntman and stunt coordinator and worked on such 80s B-movie classics as Hard Rock Zombies, Neon Maniacs, Slaughterhouse Rock, just to name a few, and more commercial fares like The Hidden and Ferris Bueller's Days Off, which I would be very curious to know which stunts he did for that one. Until he had an accident and decided to try directing as his main gig. Action USA was his directorial debut. Our main star, Gregory Scott Cummings, playing Clay Osborne, one of the FBI agents, was in Jack-O-Lantern, Dead End City, which is an only on VHS title I plan on reviewing. And most famously, to lovers of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which have been from the jump, he plays Mac's dad, Luther, a meth dealer who comes in and out of prison, intimidating everyone around him and macking on Charlie's mom.
What do you guys know about smuggling heroin through your anus?
Then we have William Hubbard Knight playing Earl Panama McKinnon, the other FBI agent. This was his only big movie role. After this, his IMDb is littered with lots of guest starring roles on 90s TV shows. We have Barry Murphy playing Carmen, the girlfriend. Action USA was her first on-screen role, then a few straight-to-video movies and a couple of Walker, Texas Ranger guest spots awaited her. And we have the hat trick that is Ross Hagen, William Smith, and everyone's favorite, Cameron Mitchell, co-starring in Action USA, which is just the cherry on top. So, fair warning, I'm turning this into a recap / spoilery review, but I won't give everything away, so you'll be able to enjoy this 31-year-old movie to its fullest regardless. It starts out with the drug dealer in his bitchin' Corvette, probably suffering from small penis syndrome, no doubt. Like we say here in Quebec, grosse corvette, petite kékette, hein? He's drinking and driving with his lady by his side, feeling like hot shit. Gets back home, gets down with his lady in one of the unsexiest sex scenes I've seen in a while. The two mob henchmen arrives, snatch him up, puts him in the trunk of their car, and speeds off to an helicopter, which they promptly take, and that's when the stunt reel begins. They tangle him out of the helicopter over downtown Waco for a good 5 minutes, holding him by the feet as he flails around constantly. Must have been really tiring for the poor guy. He falls down in a river below. Gets into a car, and stunt number 2 goes down with crazy driving, pursuing with one of the henchmen just his whole body out of the sunroof of the car and keeps shooting at them with endless bullets, driving through downtown, trying not to hit people, and then we get some car flying action, jumping over a school bus full of kids. And the other car going through an old camper that blows up right after. Don't get me wrong, all of this is very impressive. It's all pre-CGI, so all that shit is real. Just stuntmen risking their life for Action USA. All this effort to evade those henchmen, to finally ending up with the drug dealer getting killed and shouting out as he's being riddled with bullets. So enters the two FBI agents, Clay Osborne and Earl Panama McKinnon, who minutes after Carmen witnesses the murder, comes to her aid and tells her they need to protect her for her own safety. Then at the 24-minute mark, we get our first Cameron Mitchell appearance in a hot tub with two naked chicks that could be his granddaughters, Just shouting in a phone, barking orders, classic 80s Cameron Mitchell, where he stopped giving a fuck and just Mitchelling it all over.
You got suds on my cigar.
From there, we get another car chase with lots of jumping, swerving, flipping over, big orange explosions, and a man catching on fire from said big orange explosion, because we're here for the love of slow-mo car flips and things that go kablooey bigly. This is Action USA, damn it. In come Ross Hagen in his tiny little airplane playing Drago the Hitman, who's been called upon to take care of things. And the very first thing we hear him say,
"That's quite an outfit."
You heard of Rome?
What about?
I'm in Texas. And when in Texas, I dress like a Texan.
32 minutes in, we get our first William Smith appearance, playing the FBI agent in charge of Osborne in Panama. Look, if you have Mitchell or Smith in your 80s action movie, you're already up to a great start, but both of them in the same movie, there's no stopping its greatness. Here's the thing about this movie. We learned in the special features on this Blu-ray, which I'll talk about later on, that the director rewrote the whole script as they were shooting it, and most of the cast just improvised dialogue on the spot. Sometimes it's trying to be a comedy, but it's rough. It's minimal plotting, exists only to string along cool stunts together for 90 minutes, and also tits. You gotta have tits. All right, back to the movie. They kidnap Carmen from the restaurant. They stop at a garage somewhere so Drago can call in to Frankie, the mob boss, aka Cameron Mitchell. And while he's away, we get a weird seduction scene between Carmen and the henchmen, trying unsuccessfully to seduce them.
Bet you could really teach a girl to behave.
It doesn't help that she has zero sex appeal, and I mention this because the next scene we get is the best line in the movie.
What exactly do you do?
Me? I bury people, bitch.
Yeah, what a comeback. Then we get a get to know you better scene between Carmen and Osborne. Are they setting something up for later on? I just don't know. Then we're back to the three amigos in a scene where clearly it was written in the car on that day on how awesome moms are.
Without our moms, where the hell would we be today?
Nowhere. Wiping other people's asses, digging ditches. Not me. My mother deserves the best, and I don't give a goddamn who I have to kill. She's gonna live out her life in style.
In any self-respecting 80s action buddy cop movie, we get a bar scene as we arrive at the ranch, a honky-tonk joint, and poor Panama is not fitting well in the place. You can see the racism in all the patrons' eyes as he walks around. A bar fight predictably breaks out where punches don't connect, and Panama hilariously gets thrown not once but twice through a wooden barricade thingy.
This is not working out at all.
And then, for no apparent reason whatsoever, Carmen jumps on stage to join the band and start singing the song In Progress. Cameron Mitchell is back with one of his girlfriends who seem to be fearing for her life. That poor woman having to sit through this. Cameron pulling on her hair, looks so uncomfortable around him while we hear him wacky music in the background. Clearly Mitchell is earning his paycheck here, or maybe in cases of beer, seeming it could have been an either-or situation. But like I said before, it wouldn't be a real 80s action B-movie without an appearance by Sir Cameron Mitchell. And we're back to a car chase, lots of POV shots, and the one doing all the driving was the director. We can even see him wearing a protective helmet in one of the shots. Then we get probably my favorite stunt in the whole movie of one of the henchmen being punched out of a window as we get the fall from every angle possible. Milking it for all it's worth, which includes a weird scream as the henchman falls to his death.
Oh, fuck. You're not so lucky now, asshole.
Then we get to the showdown at the end on a bridge where you'll never guess who did what and why, which I'll leave it up to you to find out. Then it closes out with an unfunny, unearned blooper reel running through the end credits. A few more things. As I kept watching the movie, I was imagining Panama and the guy who played Samurai's cop's partner in a sitcom together. It could have been called Side Partners. I think it could have been a hit. In behind-the-scenes footage, we see a shot of the slate used during production, and the title of Action USA at the time of production was A Handful of Trouble, but they went with an even more generic, yet clearly more commercially viable title with Action USA. As for the special features produced for this release, we have an audio commentary with director Jon Stewart, cinematographer Thomas Calloway, and actor Gregory Scott Cummings. We get a 28 minutes Zoom Q&A with Jon Stewart and director Brian Trenchard Smith. We learned from it that the town gave them everything they wanted, from shutting it down so they could shoot scenes with the helicopter downtown to the police closing a whole highway just for them, or even like giving them a whole house to blow up. And the last special feature we get is a new 23-minute interview with Gregory Scott Cummings. This is number 11 from their Vinegar Syndrome Archive sublabel, which, if you don't know, is a subline of random titles specifically intended to be sold to brick-and-mortar retailers and focus on films made during the golden age of direct-to-video sleaze from the early 80s through the mid-90s. Other titles out so far includes Vice Academy, Savage Dawn, LA Wars, Martial Law 1 and 2, which was the other Black Friday release with Action USA. So yeah, it's definitely a Blu-ray line I feel I'll buy a lot from. So here's the beautiful slip box right here, as you can see. There's a bit of embossing happening. This is the other side of the artwork. And as you can see here, number 11, VSA number 11, little embossing here. The PQ on the release is top-notch, as always, but that's standard when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome release. They always gave their all for whichever title they release. There's a small issue when it comes to audio. Sometimes dialogue will be drowned out by the music or sound effects, but it's really a minor thing. So would I recommend Action USA? Hell yeah, I would. Maybe it sounded like I was ragging on the movie the whole time, which I was. But if you get in the right mindset before watching this, it's 80s action B-movie at its purest form with terrible acting, writing, but the stunt work on this is worth the admission price alone. And watching Cameron Mitchell and William Smith do their thing for barely 5 minutes of screen time is just mwah. Shit blows up good in this one, and it's definitely one of the higher echelon of 80s action B-movies. I give it 8 giant explosions out of 10. That was my review for Action USA. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, Reddit, and on Facebook. In the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on Action USA. Many more movie reviews in the works, which 2 of them are also coming from my Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday haul. Which shall they be? Do come back to find out. Thank you for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.